not true to what you said you were going to do, if you're not true really to who you said you are, life is going to test you, and life is going to try to break your will. Constantly, life will test you and see, are you true to your words, and are you true to what you said you were going to do? But the key is this: having another reason why you do what you do that doesn't just involve you. Meaning it takes pride to do certain things that's about helping people, and that doesn't just happen by coincidence. Everybody is not placed on that path to help people. Everybody's not placed on that path where they have direct contact with people every day and have an impact on their lives and have an opportunity to change not only their life, but their kids' lives and people that are connected to them. That's something different, and that's something special, and that is a blessing when we have it. But a lot of people take it for granted because they get caught up thinking it's just about me, and when things don't go their way, or when the ball doesn't fall the way that they thought it would fall, they stop and they quit. Because they go back to thinking, oh, this is about me. Things are not working out for me. The most amazing thing in my life is my father, whose name is still not on my birth certificate until this day. And when I started out as a kid, my mother had me when she was 15 years old. We grew up in inner city Atlanta, one of the roughest neighborhoods in Atlanta. Drugs, gang members, you name it, we had it. Drug dealer on every corner. I saw it all. I saw people get shot, people get robbed, I saw it all. And when my mother had me at 15 years old, I'll never forget, we came back to 125 Bourne Street, 2-bedroom home, 14 people, sleeping on the floor with roaches and rats every night. Missed meals most nights. And when I made up in my mind, this is what I want to do with my life, I was talented. I could play any sport. But it was something about the game of football where I can hit another individual with everything I had and not get in trouble for it. I loved it. You mean tell I could knock somebody out and not get in, I love that. But when I made up in my mind that I wanted to do it, as a kid, sometimes the ultimate is when you can tell your father something and your father is proud of you. But every time I did something great, my grandmother would see it, my grandfather would see it, my mother would see it, everybody would see it except my father. And I was sleeping on the floor with roaches and rats. And I was missing meals, and I'll never forget, one night, I used to be in the park until about 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night. Everybody would be going home. I loved it because it was my time to dream. It was my time to cultivate my vision for me and my family's life. And I would be sitting there and working out. And one night I came off the field and I asked my mother, just simple and plain, can you please introduce me to my father? Like I got some questions for him. I need to ask him some things just as a man. I need to ask him. I need to ask him why he's not in my life. I need to know why he didn't step up to the plate and do what he was supposed to do. I need to know why his name is not on my birth certificate. I didn't ask to come into this world. He made me. I need to ask him something, man to man. She said, sure. My first encounter with him, I shook his hand. I said, hey man, how you doing? He said, hey little man. I said, man, this is all I need from you. I don't need any clothes. I don't need any money. I need you to work me out. Every Saturday morning, you can take me back home after that. Can you do it? You haven't been there. I just need you to work me out. I'm trying to get to the NFL. I want to help my mother. I want to help my grandmother. This is all I need from you. Can you work me out? I heard you could play ball. He said, yeah, I could do that. And so the first Saturday morning, he woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He said, little man, you said you wanted it, right? I said, yeah. He said, let's go. We're about to run to this fire station. I said, cool. He said, we're running 2 miles to the fire station, 2 miles back home. I love work. I love working for what I want. Anytime I set my mind to something, I don't expect anybody to do the work. I'm going to work for it. And so we started doing it every Saturday. And so one Saturday, I said, man, I'm going to beat him out to the line. And so I beat him out, and I was standing there, and I was waiting on him to come out of the house. And so my father came out, and he was dragging. He was walking really slow. And so he came out, and he walked right by me. And he busted a U-turn. And as I was looking up at him, he stopped. He looked at me. He said, son. I said, yes, sir. He said, I want you to pull that other person outside of you today. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, yes, sir. He kept walking. He busted another U-turn. He looked at me in my eyes. He said, son. I said, yes, sir. He said, I want you to pull that other person outside of you today. Now, at this point, I'm thinking he's trying to cop out. Like, there's not another person. It's dark. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. And so the third time he said, son, I stepped back. I said, listen, Dad, no disrespect. I said, I get it. You have a job. You may be tired. I said, but you're not about to talk me out of running to this fire station. I'm going to run to this fire station whether you go or not, so you can go back in the house, you can go to sleep. And I'll never forget, he looked at me, he said, son, what I'm trying to get you to understand is this, He said, you don't get it. He said, you work hard, but son, what I'm trying to get you to understand is this. No matter how hard you work, there is somebody on the inside of you that works even harder. He said, son, no matter how dedicated you are, and you're pretty dedicated, there is somebody on the inside of you that's more dedicated. Son, no matter how committed you are, there is somebody on the inside of you that's more committed, and you don't even understand what commitment is. See, right now, you think commitment is saying, yes, I'll do it. Because the environment is right and it's cute. And I love it when athletes, they get asked, are you going to do it? Yeah, coach, I'm committing to it. I'm going to commit. I'm going to do it. And I didn't understand what commitment was. I thought my whole life commitment was saying, yes, I'll do it. Sign me up. I'll do it. Yeah. But what my father told me, son, what commitment is staying true to what you said you were going to do long after the mood that you have set it in has left. Meaning on the days when you don't feel like doing what you said you were going to do, you get your butt up and you do it anyway. That's what commitment is. Immediately I got it. I said, so now I get it, Pops. So it's really on the days when I don't feel like doing what I'm supposed to do that makes me who I am. It's really the moments that people don't see me working that makes me who I am. Meaning, people can do right when everybody is watching. People can do right when they got them on a conference call. People can do right when you got them on a Skype or a FaceTime. People can do right when you got them on a text message. But it's the moments that people don't see that make us who we are as individuals. That's when our real character is revealed. People tried to judge me my whole life. People told me I was too small. People told me I came from this environment. People told me I came from a 2-bedroom home, 14 people. But what they didn't see was every night throughout the week, I was in that park at 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night, while every other kid was playing a video game. I never played a video game in my life. What they didn't see was every Saturday morning, I was up at 4 o'clock while every other kid was sleeping, running 2 miles to a fire station, 2 miles back home. That's what made me who I am. Nobody's opinion of me would ever come true. Nobody's opinion of me would ever validate me. What people said about me didn't faze me because I was confident enough, because I knew the work that I had put in into chasing my dream. But most importantly, I knew the work in the process of me chasing whatever I was after. It wasn't so much about the outcome as it was about me giving everything I had to the process, because the process one day will reveal what I'm really made out of. It's not even about the product. It's about the process. The process is what saved my life. People think I was something special. I wasn't anything special, but I know how to get up and go after what I want. I'm not anything special. I make up in my mind before the mission that I'm going to complete the mission. I'm not anything special, but I look at my wife and tell her we will never quit, we will never give up, you will never have to worry about a thing because you got a real life wolf. I'm not anything special. And my father followed it up and he said, son, what I want you to understand, one day, you're gonna hit something that's a lot tougher than you. And your strength alone won't get it. Like your little drive, your little cute words, your little commitment, your little fast, choppy steps, your little getting up, I could do the abs, I could do the core, that ain't gonna get it. Like something is gonna come up against you in life and it's gonna try to break your will and it's gonna try to take your life and not make you wanna get up and go to work and not make you wanna get up and go and provide for your family. Something is gonna come up against you, son. That is when you're gonna have to understand I have something on the inside of me that's greater than anything that life can throw at me. Immediately I got it. And so now I was working, but I was working for something different. Now I wasn't working for the product. Now I was working about the process, meaning I told my guys on my team, I said, listen, I don't have to go to the NFL. I can wash cars. I guarantee you, I will be the best car washer there is in the world. I don't have to go to the NBA. I can work in McDonald's. I guarantee you, I will be the best worker at McDonald's there is, because the level of pride that I take in doing things is totally different. Now I understand every day I wake up, I'm not only representing myself, I'm representing my mother that had me at 15. I'm representing my grandmother that came into this world with no education and she never gave up. And on the nights when we missed meals, she looked me dead square in my eyes and told me, son, everything is still going to be okay. And every morning she woke up and read her Bible and told me, son, don't you stop, don't you give up, because times are going to get better. I represent more than me. And I went after it, and I'll never forget my first day of high school. I walked through the metal detector of a high school in Atlanta called Crim High School. They called it Crime High in Atlanta. My mother and father attended the same high school. They called it Murphy High. They used to call it on the streets Murder High, because they used to shoot the teachers. And my first day I walked through the metal detector, cop looked at me, he said, what's your plan? I said, my plan is to go D1, going Division I, playing ball. He said, no, you'll probably go to cell block D1. I said, no, you got the wrong guy. He said, no, I heard that before. Your uncles came through. They said the same thing. Where are they? He said, all of them going in and out of prison. One of them just got sentenced to 40 years in prison. He said, okay then. I said, no, let me tell you something. You got the wrong guy. I said, I guarantee you I will go D1. He said, get out of the way. My freshman year, I played sports, did well in the classroom. My own mother and father came to me and said, we're taking you out of this school. People can't go to college. It's almost impossible. Like, people don't go to college from here, son. And I said, please, I can make it from here. They said, Ink, it just doesn't happen. Like, we understand you want it, we understand you're driven, we understand you're gonna go to class, you're gonna work hard, but son, it just doesn't happen. I said, please, leave me here. My father said, son, we're not leaving you here. You have a guaranteed scholarship to the University of Georgia across town. All you have to do is go and play your next 3 years at one of the top programs in the whole state of Georgia. I said, please, leave me here. I want to work. I can make it from right here. They transferred me the first football game. I tore the ligaments in my ankle, out for the season, in a wheelchair. I get out of the wheelchair, I went to my mother. I said, will you please transfer me back to the lowest performing public school in the whole city of Atlanta? My father said, you're crazy. You're not going back. My mother said, I think you're losing your mind. I'm taking you to meet with our pastor. I walked in the meeting with our pastor. He was sitting there. He said, Inky, sit down. Let's get this over with. He said, son, if I was to go to everybody in your family right now and ask them for $50, nobody could give it to them. He said, son, nobody in your family has ever been to college. He said, you're begging to go back to a place where it's embarrassing. He said, son, you all go to play an opposing team at that place, and while they're drinking out of their water bottles, they're giving you all the water hose. You have to drink out of the water hose. He said, son, you're 139 pounds. You wear your uncle's 5X t-shirt to school every day, eh? You don't have anything, son. This is your opportunity. This is your ticket. Do you get it? I said, I get it, but please transfer me back to Prim High School. My mother agreed. Transfer me back first game my junior year, break my clavicle, out for the season again. So now everybody came up to me and they said, you're a fool. Why did you do that? You had a full ride, you had a full scholarship. You begged to come back to this place, and now you're injured, son. No colleges are coming to see you. My senior year, I'll never forget it. After my senior football season, Philip Foreman came into Crim High School. He gave me a full scholarship. After I got my scholarship from Tennessee, I walked back into Crim High School. I went into the lunchroom. I found that cop. I said, I told you you had the wrong guy. Yeah. He said, I did, didn't I?